Okay.
Hi everybody, and we are recording. Just hold on. These dogs are at it. Just give me
Yeah.
Everybody, sorry about that. There was just a noisy thingy, but anyway. Greetings everybody. Welcome to the Lexcia podcast. I am your host, Wesley Pepper, and I finally hit 150 episodes. So I guess congratulations to myself. Thank you very much, Lindiwe. I will introduce you in a minute. Actually, I have some pretty cool news to all my listeners. Man, the Lexcia podcast just got nominated for the APVA Awards for 2024. It's under the arts category. So that's pretty cool. I thought that was a pretty dope thing to announce my 150th episode. I did mention I wanted to do something for this. But I reckon our nomination award is pretty cool, so I think I'll just leave it at that. I will, I will inform everybody how it goes in terms of what I need people to vote, what to look at, and so forth. And I'll make mention that on all my social media pages. Also, just much love to the Buzz Factor, Flo, and Bridget for setting for we've been. I've been interviewing a lot of their guests over the recent the past few months or weeks. So much love to them, especially my brother Flo. And don't forget to check out my other channels as well, which is all on the Lexcia page. So let's see, African Genius podcast. There's a lot of cool stuff there. So don't forget to check that out. If you are in the mood for more intellectual type of Pan-African stuff, it's definitely the platform for you. Okay, so I've got a pretty cool guest today. I'm talking to Lindiwe Mnguni from Bloemfontein, and she's one of the brand ambassadors of the 67 Blankets. If you remember, we spoke to Caroline Steyn, I think, over a month and a bit ago, about the 67 Blankets. So I know Lindiwe has been working. She's as I said, she's one of the brand ambassadors. She's doing some other cool work, but we're going to find and talk about all of that. So first and foremost, my sister, good afternoon and welcome. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, and I'm good, thanks. And how are you, Wesley?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's all good. It's nice, and it's not that cold this morning like it was yesterday.
Yeah, it's not that cold.
Yeah, for my international guests, with South Africans, we always going to give a weather report for everything. We like talking about if it's too hot, if it's too cold. It's the most South African thing. You don't get more South African than that. So, my sister, let's get into it, man. 67 Blankets for Nelson Mandela. This has been an initiative that has been going on for, I think it's the 8th year, or was it the 10th year? I'm not too sure about that, but we'll cover that. You are one of the brand ambassadors, so you guys are doing a bunch of cool stuff around that. So let's start. I guess just introduce yourself to my audience, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, my name is Lindiwe Mnguni. I am what you call a nitwit. I am one of the ambassadors for the 67 Blankets for Nelson Mandela Day. I stay in Bloemfontein, the Free State, and I also work for the Vaal Central Water. It's a water board also based in the Bloemfontein, but based in Bloemfontein and in Free State as well as in the Northern Cape.
Yeah, man. Okay. Thank you for that. So, 67 Blankets for Mandela is a initiative that started off as talking to Caroline saying, it started off just as an idea, and over the years it grew and it grew. And I know one of the more impressive things that they did was the volume of work that they've been putting out. I mean, as in blankets and so forth. So, explain to us, what's your role in this organization? Tell me, first and foremost, as an ambassador, what does an ambassador actually do?
Okay, as an ambassador, let me tell you about myself.
Yes, sir.
When I was chosen as an ambassador, we did not have Free State. In the Free State, we did not have the 67 Blankets for Nelson Mandela Day. So my first role was to set up, to make sure that we have as many people as possible who join us and who do crocheting. And also, I'm responsible for the events that we're holding. Like we have what you call hookups And we also have themed, every year there's a theme for what we're focusing on. So this year it's love, peace, and tolerance. So my role was to organize the theme. They did a road show. Carolyn was here with the head office last month, and also to choose the beneficiaries and to receive beneficiary requests for blankets, and also to make sure that we put the name out there, for people to know, and people to know how to join us, where to find us, and all those kind of things, and making sure that there's constant communication with the ladies and gentlemen who are part of our group.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about your group. So where exactly, or how do you use, do you just only work on this concept once a year this time, or is it or is it a whole, is it a project that runs throughout the year?
Yeah, it runs throughout the year because we need to have as many blankets as possible. We need to have as many scarves as possible. So yeah, we can't just maybe say from June to July. We need all year through. We have a WhatsApp group where all the members who are interested in being part of us are part of that WhatsApp group. That's where we motivate each other, and we share patterns, and also we share if there's someone who identifies maybe a home that needs blankets. It's in the group, and then we decide who will go and do the handover. So we always communicating almost daily. So when one does something exciting, they share in the group, and it motivates others. Yeah. And our members, we have one member in Kronstadt. It's not just in Bloemfontein. We have most of them are in Bloemfontein. We have one in Kronstadt. We have a group also in Fixbeck. So we looking forward to spreading it even more in the Free State.
Okay. Interesting. Thank you. So tell us a little bit exactly. Okay, so I understand how the process works. So tell me, let's zone into 2024. So exactly, my understanding with scarves, personally, if you, I guess anybody that knows me for any while knows I wear a lot of scarves. Reason is I just don't like my neck to get cold, and I've got a whole array today. I decided to wear plain gray one, but I've got many colors. I like the colorful ones. I think it's a bit of my personality, maybe there too. And as I said, I don't like my neck to get cold. So tell us a little bit, what exactly are you working on this year? Is there a theme this year? And sort of take us through the processes. So, because we want to get into what you're actually knitting, and then but we'll get there a bit later. So just explain to us, when you say sharing patterns, what type of patterns? How do you look at it? And we'll unpack that bit by bit.
Yeah. Okay. When we share patterns, we just share any patterns. Like this year, we were given a leeway of making any blanket, whatever. There wasn't a specific pattern or a specific color. So people could go as wild as they could, and some did go as wild as they could, because we have some pretty good crocheters. But what we are busy with now is scarves. We call it a secret scarf. A day is set up. Yeah, it's a day set up for all knitweeds in the country as well as in those abroad. But there are some European countries having summer now, so those do them when it's their winter. Then on a specific day, we choose a place, a public place where we hang those scarves. It has a note that says, "I'm not lost. If you're cold and need me, take me." So anyone can just take a scarf and wrap in their necks, and anything that they want to do with it.
Where are you guys hanging it this year?
We are hanging out with the crew from the Women's War Museum here in Bloemfontein.
I know exactly where that is.
Yeah. They have this cool project that calls a Scarves, a Squares for Love. So they approached us, and we decided it's a cool initiative, and it also, it's what we do. So we'll be meeting with a few ladies there, and we'll be crocheting those squares, but we are bringing our scarves there. So we'll be adorning the museum. There's an area that is called the Children's Labyrinth. Will be there and with our scarves there. And whoever passes there and wants a scarf can just take a scarf and take it home.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. Is it like available to the public, and how do the public just do they just come through? They just come, they see they like it.
Yeah, and if they like, and if they're cold, they can take one and take home.
Is there
that's what
yeah, interesting, interesting, especially like given that it's cold. So
cold.
Yeah. So it's almost a need, not a want. So I think that's pretty cool, man. So tell us a little bit about when you say that there's also you also guys do the blanket, the crocheting. One of the stuff that I picked up with Caroline Stein was the size of the work. I mean, some of the stuff was epic. I mean, that one thing that you saw was almost like 2 rugby fields, which is huge. That's like over 200 meters just of blankets. So the scale is massive. Do you guys also work on such a huge scale?
Yeah, the ones you see where it's so many blankets in a stadium, those are what we do, and then we send them through to head office. Like we did the Stronger Together. So everyone had to knit. We had colors that we had to choose, and then once we knit and we get as many people as possible, and for that we need so much wool. That's one of the needs that we have. Then we send them through. Then we send them through to head office, and on a specific day, we all go and have fun there and raise more awareness. And then those blankets, after we're done, they get sent to all the provinces for us to do the handovers to places that we've identified that needs them.
Sure. Yeah, man, as I said, where do you guys get the wool from? Because I mean, this is a substantial amount of wool. And the quality, I also know that with this wool, there's various the quality, the texture, the colors, and so forth. But there's a whole lot. So, explain to me that process. So, how does that work?
Okay, we dig from our pockets, and we also ask for donations of wool and of also on crochet. So we've been very lucky that there have been companies who throughout the years have been supporting us. We have
there's just a delayed broadcast there, so just please bear with us.
Donate wool for us.
Oops. Yeah, we are back. Sorry about that, everybody. As you know, this type of thing happens way too more often than I'd like. But anyway, Lindiwe, just before that little technical thingy, you was explaining to us like you guys got so there's a bunch of other corporates and so forth who donate wool and to help you guys out. And I wanted to sort of ask a question on top of that. The quality of the wool, do you guys have do you look out for the better quality? I know there's chunky wool, there's also there's various different types of wool. Is there, or do you just take anything that I guess that your sponsors give you? Or
okay, we do take any wool that our sponsors give us, as long as it's a good quality, because obviously we want our plants to last for longer. But in terms, some donate chunky wool, some donate the double knit. We mostly use the double knit. So it's free to donate any kind of wool, as long as it's good quality wool. I'm saying as long as it's good quality wool that can last.
Is most of the wool South African based, or some of the wool imported?
Kismet is South African based. That's our biggest wool supplier. So their wool is South African based.
Okay. Yeah, that's also a question I actually forgot to ask Caroline Stein the last time. I was pretty interested to know that one.
No, it's a local manufacturer, and the nice thing about that is that they keep coming up with many patterns of wool. Let me show you what I have.
Yeah, please. Yeah, let's.
They have this. They have this, you see, and they've even branded it for us, you see, and with Love Kismet. So see.
So how
So
many
nice.
with that? Yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely. With that size there, how many scarves does one roll of wool make?
Okay, this one makes quite a few. I think this can make about 4 or 5. This one, yeah. Because I usually use it for blankets. Because I know that for a blanket, I'd need 3 of these.
And the blankets and the scarf, do they have a very specific size, like 1.2 meters, or is there a set standard that you use?
Yeah, for blankets, our smallest is a 120 by 120. Then that's what we give to kids. But the normal one is 160 by 160.
And the scarf?
Yeah, and the scarves. So what I do is I measure with my, how long it is. Yeah, I think that's the best measurement. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm asking, as I said earlier, I wear a lot of scarves, and I've been wearing. So I've got the real short one, which is about less than a meter. So you can basically just wrap it around your neck once, and it'll have like a piece hanging here. I always felt that there is a more just for style, for a look, and then you have this one, which is the standard one, which is like, and then I also have the one which is much longer, which almost goes to below my knees, and that I can wrap around my neck until I look like my neck is broken. And that one, those ones I like to wear when it's like really, really cold. Okay, so there's a variety. Okay, so yeah, so I get that.
There's a variety.
Yeah, man. So also just explain to us. So as I said, I'll be publishing the recording of this episode on the 15th of July. So Mandela Day is actually this week. And so are you guys, I guess, is your preparation done? Is there still, is all the systems, is all the systems ready for later this week?
Yes, it's all systems ready. Right now, we mostly putting the labels on the scarves, and also putting that note that says, "I'm not lost. If you called and you need me, please take me." So that's what we're doing. But in terms of logistics, everything is done.
That's good. That's great. I'm like really stuck on planning things properly. And I like to talk to creators and artists who is very on that. We have this annoying thing in Africa about African time, which I think is just klomkak. That is just, I don't like that. Timing is everything.
Yes. Timing is everything. Yeah.
Yeah, man, and it's so important. Like I always feel that artists who's on time usually are better prepared. The art, or in your case, the scarves are usually better quality, and so forth and so forth. But let's get into the actual process, man. So, I mean, clearly, if you're going to be knitting or crocheting so much, then you must have a passion for knitting, or a passion, how long or when did that start? Have you been knitting your whole life? Is it something? Does it really fuel? Does it really give you? You really love it, and so forth.
Well, I'm what they call an accidental crocheter. I actually became an ambassador before I could even knit.
Okay.
I showed, what happened was I saw a post from one of my Facebook friends, who's now a good friend, Bongile Kumalo. And she was talking with other Nitwits, and I was like, okay, do you have something like that in Bloemfontein? And she asked around, and there was no one in Bloemfontein. Then a year after, she asked me if I still wanted to be part of the 67 Blankets for Nelson Mandela Day, and I said yes. And she said, would you like to be an ambassador? And I asked, okay, ambassador, what do they do? And then she told me what I did. And I said, oh, okay, I love organizing. I like doing events. So yes, I'm in. And after that, I went back to work. Two of my colleagues told them about 67 Blankets, and fortunately they could knit. So they are the ones who taught me. And I've never looked back. And that was 7 years ago.
Only 7 years ago. Okay.
Only 7 years ago.
Is it because you're doing a lot of stuff with your hands and your fingers? I mean, I'm sure it's also quite taxing. Does I don't know, man. Does the I don't know. Does it does your hands hurt eventually? Is it a really a time consuming? Is it a very meticulous type of work?
Research has found that this actually helps even with people who have arthritis.
Oh, really?
Because the movement. Yeah, the movement. Because remember, they have to do exercises and move their wrists. So this is beneficial for them. And when you crochet, it's not hard work. It's not hard labor. It's something you can do whilst you're talking, whilst you're watching TV, and once you get a hang of it, you don't even look to see, what stitch you're making. It just comes automatically. Yeah. So it's something fun that you can do from anywhere. It does not hurt our wrists.
Yeah. Is there a different, I guess, process behind knitting or crocheting? Because I know the crochet needle is different, and I also know the movement is different. So just explain to us a little bit what's different between knitting and crocheting for those that don't know.
Okay, crocheting, you use one. It's a sort of like a stick, and it has a hook. Then you hook, and then you do that. And then there's also knitting. You use two needles to make a pattern, and then you move with that. But I prefer crocheting because it's just one hook, and I find it easier to do than knitting. But I know that some people would prefer knitting, so it's a matter of preference, really.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, I also know that a few years back, I remember reading up that knitting itself became there's a word for it, but for corporates and so forth, working class people who try to sort of break, I guess they take a break or sort of just escape from reality, that they can just pick up some wool and just start knitting. You sort of get into this your own world. Like you say, you can have a TV on, music playing. So it's not an antisocial thing. You can still be part of a group. Does that do you sort of subscribe to that? So say if you're busy knitting, do you like to do it on your own, or you don't mind having people around you or so on?
It's actually nicer when you have people around you, and which is why we love hookups, because you get there, you talk, you chat, and you're busy knitting, and then someone shows you what they've done, and it's different from yours. So it makes it very fun. And also another thing is, it's also beneficial in terms of your mental well-being as well, which is why most of the hospitals that do therapy, for depression, they recommend patients there to take up knitting. So that's one of the benefits of knitting.
Yeah, I read up on that. Which is why I'm
also for older people. Yeah, and also for older people, it also helps, especially those dealing with grief. And you need, and then you kind of forget your problems a bit, and it gives you something to do. And once you've created that, because who doesn't like creating? Once you've created that and you see what you've done, you start, feeling good about yourself. So it's very beneficial health-wise as well.
Yeah. Just to add on that, yes, I fully agree. It sort of lends itself to the art therapy thing where where you know you can use a similar example, for example, of painting or drawing as well, where you sort of let out grief and emotions. With painting, for example, you can use different colors to sort of express different emotions and so forth. Where at the end of the day, it's not always about the artwork or so forth; it's about the process. And I think that's really beautiful. I think that's also why art has such an important role to play in society, which is also part of the reason why I do this podcast, because I feel we should talk about these processes and share it with everybody. So the process, so people understand what we do. So Lindy, we're sort of in wrapping up, man. Moving forward, are you going to be working with I mean, clearly you love what you're doing and you enjoy what you're doing. Are you going to be an ambassador for the next, let's say 10 years or so on? Is it something you want to be doing for a long time?
Yeah, it's something I think I'll do until maybe I die, because even if I get old, I'll have more time now to knit.
Yeah,
so I will still be doing that. Yeah.
And
so it's something I still do for a lifetime.
For sure. Yeah, that's also like, again, like to bring it back to the arts, it's not something you just let go of. It usually just evolves.
You can't resign. You can't retire from that.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I wanted to sort of end, in looking usually what I do if I want to talk to a guest who I don't know personally, I like to go on their social media pages, man. And I went on your WhatsApp page, and you were baking over the weekend. And there was some really lovely stuff there, like really. So just quickly, just tell us about, like, is that also something you love doing, baking?
Yeah, that's another hobby of mine that is starting to become a side hustle. So I've always been baking, like from childhood. And, as soon as I could read and I could understand the recipes, my dad would pick up any, recipe, whether it's reading a newspaper or a magazine, then he would clip it out and give it to me, and my mom would buy ingredients and then I would bake. So it started that. Then I stopped doing that often. But then COVID came and my kids wanted to learn how to bake. So I started baking, posting on social media, and people started saying, oh, please make me this, please make me that, and then join different groups, YouTube and all that. So yeah, I cook for life. I I bake.
No, that's great. I think yeah, to my listeners, if you're looking up, please go and check out our pages. I think some of the stuff looks pretty. I've got a sweet tooth, and I know, like, when it's cold, you sort of want something that inspires the belly, inspires the stomach as well.
To be able to withstand the cold, yeah.
Yeah, it's something that I'm definitely a fan of all of that. Linda, we're sort of in wrapping up, my sister. As you said earlier on, that everything is set for this for the 18th. And you say, like, moving forward. So okay, before I get there, this is the second last question. So for anybody that wants to participate, that wants to join your knitting circles, that wants to participate in 67 blankets, how do they get in contact with you? What channels, what platforms do they use? And yeah.
Okay, they can go to my Facebook page. It's Lindiwe Mnguni. Drop me a inbox or even put it out there on my timeline. I'll be able to see them. They can also go to the 67 blankets for Nelson Mandela Day and mention that they are from Bloemfontein. Then that will also get my attention. They can also send an email. I know some prefer to send an email. Can I give you my email address?
Please do. Yes.
Yeah, it's Lindiwe, K2, the number 2, @gmail.com.
And your other social media handles, like Instagram or Facebook or so forth?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I'm Likazanazo. But if you say Lindiwe Mnguni, you will definitely also find me. And I'm also on TikTok, though I'm more an observer on TikTok than a poster. But they can find me.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
TikTok.
they can find you there.
TikTok is a platform I haven't like warmed up to yet. I know because of the
Yeah.
podcast, a lot of podcasts on that, but yeah, I do all of this on my own, and I feel TikTok is a bit overwhelming. It's a bit
It does.
overwhelming.
It does get overwhelming. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
you
why
says
I prefer to observe from the
yeah, no,
corner.
no. So
Yeah.
I totally hear you on there. So you get a lot of
I'm
engagement of
I'm
those
also
things.
on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Ah,
I'm also on LinkedIn. Yeah, as Lindiwe Mnguni.
all right.
And so they can
Yeah,
also be there.
for sure. Thanks, man. Yeah, LinkedIn is also important for I think for artists and creators. It's also a very important platform. I also do a lot of stuff
Yeah.
on LinkedIn, and I also get
Mhm.
quite a few views based off LinkedIn. And if any of those
Uh-huh.
viewers, if you got to this end of the episode, and you appreciate what we're talking about, smash that like and subscribe button. We will appreciate it too much. Lindiwe Mnguni, thank you very much for coming through, my sister. I enjoyed it. 67 blankets. I will, as I said earlier on, I will publish this. I won't publish this episode this week, unfortunately, because I have another recording coming through, but I will publish it on towards the end of the month. So it'll be after, excuse me, it'll be after this year's event. But if anybody else wants to be part of all of this, we spoke to Caroline Steiner as well, and she has some really interesting things to say. And as Lindiwe was saying, it's also incredibly therapeutic. An interesting point you made there about arthritis and all these things for that. So it's important to keep busy. And also the social side of it, I think that's also maybe not underrated, but
Fun.
not spoken about a lot. It's
Yeah.
very cool to be with like-minded people doing the same thing, sharing similar experiences, sharing ideas, as you're saying,
It
different
is.
patterns and so forth. I think that's very cool and it's very therapeutic, I would think. And at the end of the day, you have
Yeah.
something beautiful to exhibit or to sell. And yeah.
We don't sell. Yeah. Ours
Oh
we don't
yes,
sell. We
you
give
don't
it to
sell.
those who need them. Yeah. So at least you know that you're keeping someone warm who
Yeah.
really needs that blanket. Yeah.
Yeah, man, and this is sort of in closing. I also think that's so important, like for me to cover how artists and other creatives are using their creativity to help. Like sometimes it might seem like a small thing, but I mean, small things to me are big things. When people say
Yeah.
they want to change the world, if you change one
One
person,
step at a time.
technically that is, if you want to get really technical, because that person knows another person and another person and so forth and so forth. And in a month, in 2 months, all of a sudden it's over 100, maybe even 1,000 people that one can influence. And I think that is a really beautiful thing that sort of kind of gets overlooked maybe sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It does.
Linda, is anything else did I miss anything? Is anything else you want to raise with regards to
No,
blankets?
yeah, you've covered everything, and especially because we need more people to join us. We need people to also donate wool for us to make more blankets. So please donate wool and please come join us and let's have fun.
For sure, for sure. Thank you very much, my sister. It looks like you're still at work, so you still got another full day ahead. So
Yeah,
enjoy the rest of that and keep warm. And I will definitely be in touch with regards to when we put out this episode.
thank you so much.
Thank you very much, my sister. Take care, man. I'll be in touch. One
Yes,
love.
thank you, my brother. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.